Our next speaker is Furr. Beam is a Broward County Commissioner. In 2018, he served as Mayor of Broward County. Prior to his service on the Broward County Commission, he was elected and served as Hollywood City Commissioner for 12 consecutive years. Beam, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate it. And thank you to all the speakers. I am encouraged by listening to all of you, even though I know everybody's kind of, there's a depressive feel to the air right here. And I think, and understandably, but I don't think you all realize how much you're actually getting through. I was at a meeting the other day with 7 counties, with the South Florida Regional Planning Council and the Treasure Coast Guild. This is from Martin all the way down. All 7 counties. What they were saying, the number one topic was water. So, for various reasons, because it's really for most of us, I think for most people, it has become a bipartisan issue. It is, it's one of those things that, Gil, you're over there on the West Coast, you can't even breathe over there right now. All those businesses up and down, that's a disaster. What we're seeing on our side are all the corals dying, and we know why. We know what's happening. So what I'm seeing is actually a lot of times you don't see, you feel like you're not getting anywhere, and then suddenly you do hit a tipping point. I don't think you're that far from a tipping point, and I think Joe, when you had your editorial was in our paper over here, and I'm sure people read that and got a lot out of it. You're seeing with the collection of all the newspapers with climate change on the invading sea, you're seeing when issues are of such a magnitude, for the first time ever, those newspapers are collectively working together, and putting forth those articles like you had, Joe. So I do think you want to keep working on parallel tracks. This amendment, I think, as some of you have said that you think it's the only chance. I hope it's not the only chance. I think it would be a powerful tool, and I'm glad Alachua already passed it and Orange passed it. But I also I do feel like political solutions. I know when I see what's in Tallahassee right now, it's pretty tough. But when I saw what was just recently with all these counties that were working together on the planning councils, it gave me some hope. Today I was at a meeting that was discussing the Port Everglades, and to make sure that I don't know if everybody knows, but when Miami did their port, it was a disaster environmentally. Many corals got killed. It may have started, who knows if it started the stony coral disease. I don't know. It could have. But what you're seeing is now, before our county is going out, and I think our county is actually considered much like what Maya has with the Green Amendment, our charter actually has that we can do no harm. So, before we go do this today, the whole topic was, how are we going to make sure that there's no damage done? Because there's a need to go deeper on the port. The plan right now is to spend $300 to $400 million ahead of time to make sure that there's the monitoring's right, all those kind of things, so that there isn't, at least it's mitigated. That said, I think I know it's a big lift to get this on the ballot. I do think it would pass, and I think it would be real good. But I was talking with a Republican legislator today, asking, explaining it to him, And I have gotten a commitment from one legislature who said that they would put it in as a bill next year, not this year. And I think that's one of those things that we need to be trying to do. Start finding those legislators that would be willing to put it in, who would be co-sponsors. This is somebody on the House side. So we need to find somebody on the Senate side. And we did the same group that I was working with, these two planning councils that have almost half of the population of Florida. If you go from Martin County all the way down, we put together a couple of years ago a package that put a border around the coral reef all the way from Martin County all the way down to Biscayne. And it's now the Kristen Jacobs Coral Reef Conservation Area. It has taken, that was 2018. It's taken since then for EPA and Florida Wildlife Commission to finally get a management plan. But as of this week they finally are getting it together, finally. And we have somebody who's really good on the EPA right now that we should be trying to work with. Her name is Joanna Walczak. And that's, she's in the administration, but her heart is to make sure that we have saved corals and all that kind of stuff. Those are, we have to find those people that are kind of in places that can do some work, and give them, let them know that we've got their back. I mean, I asked the South Florida Water Management District, and this is something, we may want to do. I said, we need you to raise taxes. I said, you've been rolling back your rate for 10 years in a row. And now, there's a lot of things that need to be done. Septic to sewer conversion, all those kind of things. We need you to raise taxes, but they're not going to do it if there's no cover. They need political cover, because, anytime politicians are raising taxes, they get their heads chopped off. So people need to say, and I put forth and made a motion for our planning council and for the Treasure Coast to back them, so that they would to raise taxes, to be able to pay for the drainage that's needed out of the Everglades. There's an issue there with gravity fed to pump because of sea level rise. But those are kind of things let's use what's also there. I think we have to keep going on parallel tracks. But I just want to, I hear everybody's frustration, and I just want to encourage you to keep going, because there are people listening. It's not, we're not in the majority by any means, but there are people listening, and I think your message is getting through to a lot of people. And it's, we're not at the tipping point yet, but I don't think we're that far away. The fact that everybody thought that water was the main issue at this conference last week told me something. That surprised me, but I was glad to hear it. So with that, I do have to get off to another call, but I applaud you all for doing what you're doing, and I'm at your disposal wherever I can help. Okay.
Terrific. Thank you, Bean. Certainly good to hear that we're gaining traction. That's what we're seeing on our side.
Good.
It's good to have it confirmed by somebody else.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it is. Good. I'll see y'all later.
Yep. And